my channel. My name is Grace Manzi. In the video today I'll be showing you how to make a pattern for off-shoulder garments. Okay, this is a must-have for any designer because with this pattern you can attach a circle skirt, make a circle skirt dress, pencil skirt, make a straight dress. Okay, the tucks or darts are optional. You can leave all the darts out, let it loose and have a free dress. Okay, if you want to shape your waistline or your body using this pattern, you don't touch the side seams. Okay, all you do is add a few more tucks according to your body shape, make them 3 in the center or 2 at the side, design them the way you want. Okay, also with this pattern you can make a shirt, open up here, attach a collar, you have a shirt dress. The list is endless, guys. Enjoy the video. Now for drafting the pattern, you need your pattern paper, which is folded in half like that. Okay, and make sure you've got enough diameter there to cover your hip line. Okay, you need your straight ruler, a pen and a marker pen, a pair of scissors, tape measure, a set square, and your 2 French curves. Okay, with all these you are good to go to start drafting your pattern. Now for the measurements and calculations, you need your bust measurement divided by 4 plus ease. Okay, waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch ease, and also you're going to need 1 inch for the dart and 1 inch for the smooth flowing of the side seam. Okay, this varies with different shapes and sizes of your body. You need this when I'm drafting the pattern. Hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch ease, and shoulder measurement divided by 2. Okay, bust height. The bust height, you measure your shoulder to the apex for the front only, and mine is 12 inches. You're also going to need your shoulder to waist measurement for the front, okay, and shoulder to waist measurement for the back. You're also going to need the total length of the garment you are making. For instance, I'm making a top, so the total length is going to be 18.5 inches. My bust span measurement 4.5 inches plus ½ inch since it's a loose top. Okay, and plan, we're going to make a plan for making this pattern. The shoulder dart is 2 inches away from the neckline. Okay, and 3/4 inches wide and 4 inches long. This you have to determine before you start drafting. Okay, the back neckline is 1 inch deep and is going to be 4 inches wide. And then plan for the front. The balance extension is going to be 1 inch from the neckline going up. This balance extension is going to be for the front piece only. Take note of this when we start drafting. Okay, the V-neck or the neck depth is going to be 5 inches and 4 inches wide. The side dart is going to be 2 inches wide, 2.5 inches from the armhole. Right, this is not a standard. Okay, as well as that, you determine how wide you want your dart before you start drafting, and also how far from the armhole you want your dart. This is a preferred choice. Okay, and the length of my dart is going to be all the way to the apex. Right, you can put your length of dart 1 inch before the apex as in the standard basic bodice pattern, but in this case I'm going to be drawing my side dart all the way to the apex, okay? And then we come to the waist dart. It's going to be 5 inches away from the center fold. That is for the front only, okay? Still on the side dart, it's going to be 1 inch down from the apex point and 2 inches before the waistline. In conclusion, don't forget the seam allowances: 1 centimeter for side and back seam, 5 to 7 millimeters for the armholes and hem. Okay, and one very important thing is don't forget notches. This is our shoulder line, and this is going to be our center back. When we are drafting this pattern, you start with the back pattern, okay? So this is our center back, and this is the shoulder line. Now you start by drafting the neck. It's going to be 1 inch deep, so you measure 1 inch here and make a mark, right? And it's going to be 4 inches wide, so you measure 4 inches on the shoulder line, okay, like that, and mark, okay? You're going to square a line here, okay? Right, you're going to square a line to make the back neckline, like that. Right, and then you just take your French curve and draw a curve for your back neckline. Okay, so that's the back neckline done. The next thing I'm going to do is to draw the waistline, which is 16 inches down from the neckline, okay? So I'm going to measure 16 inches from the neckline here to the 16-inch mark down there, okay? That's going to be my waistline. And then my hip line is going to be 6 inches below the waistline. So I get my 6-inch mark here. That's my hip line. So after doing that, I go ahead and draw straight lines, okay? So I square a line here to draw my waistline. Then square another line here to draw my hip line. Right. You can extend them further, okay? Right. So that's my hip line. That's my waistline. Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do now is to draw a line midway from this part here, the waistline, to the neckline, which is 8 inches. That is going to be my bust line for the back pattern. So I'm going to measure 8 inches and draw here, right? And then square a line for my bust line. Okay, right. The next thing I'm going to do is draw a line 2.5 inches for the total length of my top, because this is 16 inches. My top is going to be 18.5 inches. So I'm going to add 2.5 inches here and square a line. 2.5. So I square a line there. So that's the length. So what we have here, let's recap. We've got the neckline done, the back neckline done, the bust line, the waistline, the hip line, and the length of the top. The next thing we are going to do is to do the back curve, because we know our back is not entirely straight. So we come to the waistline, measure 1/4 inch inwards. Okay, or 1/2 inch. I'm going to use 1/2 inch. Okay, I make 1/2 inch, and then I draw a straight line all the way to the bust line, like that. Okay, and then I draw another line all the way to the length of my top. Okay, like that. Okay, so that it's a smooth curve. Right, that's the back curve done. Now I'm going to do the horizontal measurement. Bust line, my bust is 44, divided by 4, it's 11, plus 1 inch is 12 inches. So I'm going to measure 12 here. Okay, my waistline is 9, is 36 divided by 9 by 4 is 9. I'm going to start measuring my waistline from here, okay, from the curve. So 9 inches start from here, okay, plus 1 inch for the dart, that makes it 10, okay, and then plus 1 inch is, right, it's going to be here, okay. Now let me explain to you now what I meant by a smooth flowing curve. First I'll do the hip. The hip measurement here is going to be 13.5. Okay, let's measure our 13.5 first. Right. Okay, all the way to there. Means I have to extend that line here. Right. I'll illustrate this with a pen, okay? So if I were to join these lines, I'm going to have something like that. Okay, right. Can you see how sharp this is? Okay, so we're not going to have a sharp curve on the side seam like that, right? So that's the reason why I added another 1 inch to make the side seam smooth flowing. So I'm going to add here 1 inch, okay, right. So when I join this now, okay, can you see that? Okay, so you see my side seam is now smooth flowing. Right, let me do that with a marker pen so you can see my new side seam. Okay, so that's my new side seam here. It's now flowy, and when I join it to the length of my top, it's going to be looking nice. Okay, I take my curve here, curved ruler, bring it all the way down to the length of my top. Okay, so I have a nice flowing line here. Okay, all right. Okay, there's no sharp corners here, but if I had used that one, as you can see, there's a sharp corner. You don't need that. Okay. The next thing we are going to do now is to do the back waist dart. So I'm going to measure 5 inches from here and mark there, okay? Right. And then I measure 5 inches again there and put a mark. And then another 5 inches here and put a mark there, okay? Right. Then I join them. Make the square line first before I join anything. Right. Square line down there. Perfect. Right. The dart is going to be 1 inch wide, so I'm going to mark ½ inch on either side of the dart. So ½ inch there and ½ inch here. It's going to be 1 inch from the bust line here, and then it's going to be 2 inches away from the hip line there. So I'm going to go ahead and make the dart. Okay, so that's our back dart done. Now we're going to do the shoulder dart and the armhole curve. So before we draw the shoulder dart, we need to measure our shoulder measurement, divide by 2, which is 8 inches, okay? Shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 8. So I'm going to put a mark on there, right? And then when I get there, I'm going to mark 1 inch going down to make the shoulder slope, okay? So I'm going to use a pen, right, to draw the shoulder slope. Okay, that's my shoulder slope. Using a pen, okay? Now, as in my plan, shoulder dart is going to be 4 inches long, right? And it's going to be 3/4 inch wide, okay? And it's also going to be 2 inches away from the neckline. So I mark my 2 inches away from the neckline, okay, and put a mark there. And then I measure 3/4 inch, right, and draw a line there, okay, mark over there, right. So that's my dart, the width of my dart, okay. So to draw the length of my dart, I take my tape measure and draw and mark 4 inches down. That is here, okay? Right. So I'm going to go ahead and join those 3 to make my shoulder dart. Okay, that's my shoulder, that's done. Right, now for the slope, the armhole slope. Okay, right, what we're going to do is extend this line further. Okay, extend this line further. Right, when we've done that, we go ahead, we draw a straight line on the 8-inch mark, which is here. Okay, this is where our 8 inches is for our armhole. Right, okay, right, can you see that? This from this short neckline here to that mark is 8.5 inches, which is our shoulder line, shoulder measurement divided by 2. Okay, so I draw a straight line from there to the bust line. Okay, I want you to understand how to make this slope. Okay, so what I do is I extend this shoulder line by 3 inches and put a mark on there. Right, from here you're going to mark 3 inches. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and put a mark on there. Okay, right. So before I carry on, let me just use a marker pen so that you can see what is going on so far. So here we've got our shoulder dart. Okay, just enhancing it with a marker. Okay, we've got our shoulder dart here. Right, and then we've got our shoulder measurement divided by 2, 8.5, and draw a line down for the armhole. Okay, right. So we have extended this shoulder line by 3 inches. Okay, and this is where our 3 inches is. Okay, 3 inches is right there. Okay, when you've extended it, you measure 1 centimeter down from that extension. We measure 1 centimeter going down. Okay, I'm going to use this to measure 1 centimeter. Okay, this is 1 centimeter here. I go to put a mark there. Okay, can you see that? So after making that mark, I'm going to draw another curve again from here. Can you see that? Right. From 3 inches we move down 1 centimeter there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to draw a curve from here all the way to there. Okay, from here all the way to there. That's how you draw this drop shoulder. So you do it like this. Just follow what I'm doing here. So you draw a curve to touch the midpoint here of this line. Right, this is the midpoint of this line here. Okay, right, and then you take that other French curve and finish off the rest of the armhole curve using that. Okay, like this. Can you see that? Okay, all you can do now is just smoothen the curve here, this bit. Right, so there you go. You've got your drop shoulder done there. Right, don't forget the notches. You always notch at the waistline. Okay, that's your notch.